Good morning. Good morning.
I find myself a little bit closer to you all this morning. Last time I was in far west Texas, and today I'm pushing closer to the East Coast in Atlanta, Georgia. So hello from Atlanta.
Same time zone as most of us anyway, so that's good.
Yeah, it's not 8 a.m. for me this time. Do my eyes look better?
You
You look
definitely look more well rested. Yeah.
All right, great. Good morning. Good to see you guys.
What do you think, Bev? Should we give everybody a little bit more time to come in, or go ahead
Yeah,
and get started?
let's do a few, like 30 seconds, give
All
another
right.
minute. Sam,
Yep.
all the time when you talk, you like to talk about what garments you're wearing. Is that a new shirt today too?
It's not new, but it is one of my faves. Got it on sale at the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, California at Lululemon. And it's a nice little blend here. I'm bringing back the Henleys, but it's not a full Henley. It actually is a quarter Henley. So I'm bringing, and it's actually short sleeve. So it allows me to breathe a little bit no matter what the weather. So thanks for checking in on the outfit today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the blog posts later about
Yeah,
with your
Yeah, that'll be
intentions.
coming out shortly.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and kick this off. So, good morning, everybody. I'm Ryan Capel. I'm the regional lead for Champion Title, MBH Settlement Group, and District Title. And if you were with us last time, I mentioned that all three of our companies are part of the Acrisure family. And we're excited to continue with part 2 of our first ever Acrisure Partners Top Producer series. So last session was one of the best classes that I can recall, as we've looked at 6 ways to generate listings in a low inventory market. Sam Trimble killed it. If you missed it, ask us to send you the recording, and we'll be sure to get that out to you. And today we have Sam back for another exciting class, and I will turn it over to Beverly Franklin, MBH's Director of Marketing and Communications, to sort of tee up this class. And Sam.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. So yes, after those knowledge bombs that Sam dropped on us during our first session, I'm so excited for what we're going to learn today. So at MBH, our dedication for being positioned for your success is shown through the tools that we deliver today with our Top Producer series, this month with our tax time article and checklist that you can download and share with your clients as a reason to touch base, and throughout the year with our education, our regular CE classes, and our closing insights. So as Ryan said, our first session was a bang, and it had, I think, way over 6 ways to generate listings. So I'm going to take a moment to brag on Sam and share some of the feedback. So these are direct quotes. Actually, the most informative and enlightening webinar I've attended in quite some time. Loved it. And the second one is all I have not heard before. Great class. So Sam, I'm sorry to make you blush, but I just had to share those. And if you missed it, no problem. Ryan said we can send you the recording, or you can check out MBH's YouTube channel for the class as well. Our final session is Wednesday, April 20th. So be sure to register for that class. You can visit the MBH Champion Title and District Title on Instagram or on Facebook for the registration links. So today we're going to dive into optimizing your presence on our #1 search platform, Google, for lead gen. And now I'll welcome Sam. So let's go.
Awesome. Thanks so much for hanging out, Ryan and Bev. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the kind words. I'm going to drop my mom's cell phone number in the chat. If anybody wants to text her and just say something nice about me, I think I could really use the kudos at home. So thanks so much for that. Yeah, I am going to share my screen and we are going to dive in. So just give me a thumbs up when you can see this. Yes? Okay, cool. I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia at the beautiful Residence Inn by Marriott over by the Galleria. So if there's a little glitchy every once in a while on the internet, just let me know, but hopefully we should be good to go. So today we're going to be talking about ramping up your Google business profile for lead generation. To me, the foundation of any small business, and we are all small business people, is a robust online reputation, and it starts with Google. Yes, you can enhance it on Realtor.com. Yes, you can enhance it on Zillow and some of these other places, but the foundation is Google. And so I'm going to talk through a few strategies today to really ramp that up and also show you a couple of the newest features that have been released as of late. You guys already know me. That's my beautiful hometown that I'm missing right now, El Paso, Texas. But thanks again for having me today, guys. I really appreciate it. So because you already know me a little bit, you know I'm a little bit of a stat nerd. So I wanted to start with a couple this week as well. So reviews are absolutely the future currency of your business. And I mean that literally. There are mergers and acquisitions across this country happening right now where there is a tangible intrinsic dollar value being applied to the online reputation of a company. So say a company goes to sell, there's some buyers in place, a few people going back and forth trying to purchase a small business, for example. If there's 400, 500, 1,000 reviews on Google that are relatively good reviews, that will actually add value to the intrinsic dollar value of that business. And one thing that's really interesting is it's 3 out of 4 people that are asked to leave a review. And let me kind of preface that by making it as easy as possible for them. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But 76%, so 3 out of 4 people that are asked to leave a review actually do go on to leave that review. So sometimes the task is simply to ask. So keep that stat in mind. This one is kind of hilarious to me. So 79% of consumers trust online reviews as much as recommendations from their friends. If you were a part of my friends group, or maybe if you guys saw Bev in Vegas last week with her girlfriends and you were a part of that friends group, you would know why we literally trust online reviews more than our friends in some cases. And for millennials, it's actually 9 out of 10 trust online reviews as much as their friends, which I think is a very telling statistic. So here's our game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about profile completion, how to make sure to complete that and optimize it. We're going to talk through the 5 R's of reviews. We're going to create a review generation strategy and talk through what that might look like with a few different options. Then we're going to take a quick nap because I'm just a little tired. And then we're going to talk through some FAQs and frequently asked questions, how you can use them to grow yourself on the first page of Google. We're going to talk a little bit about SEO and content strategy. And I'm going to talk to you about a quick tool. I may have mentioned it last time in passing, but I'm going to dial in a little bit on a quick free, and if it's free, it's part of me, tool that will help you create content that is pertinent, that will absolutely begin to serve you up higher and higher in Google's ratings, Google's ranking system. We're going to talk about posting, which a lot of people don't know you can do on Google, but you can just like on any other social platform. And then we're going to end by talking about chat. And then one of my favorite words, it was my word for the year 3 years in a row, and that is the word gratitude. So that's a little bit about our stops along the way today. So let's go ahead and dive in. So there's a lot of words on this slide. I normally don't like to do this, but they're really important. So I wanted to go through them. And don't forget, just like last time, if you want to hop in the chat, you have any questions or comments, I see a bunch of things coming in and I'll take a look in just a second. Great. And then also know that Bev, Ryan, and the Acrisure team will be getting out a copy of this presentation to you. So fear not, no need to take a bunch of notes. So there's a few things to really, really think about when you're talking about completing a profile. And let's go ahead and set ourselves in the mindset that Google and Google's juice, right? Like the Google juice, that's what they call kind of really ramping up your profile on Google. All of those things are monitored almost constantly by Google. The more activity, the more accuracy, the more relevancy, and the more frequency that you post or put things on Google, the more they're going to like you. So just kind of get yourself in that mindset that it's one of the places. We spend a lot of time adding stories and liking and commenting on Insta and Face and LinkedIn and all that stuff. All important, but Google is the one that's actually going to reward you with leads directly for that activity. So one, if you haven't already done it, be sure to claim your business profile. If you were to, one quick precursor to that, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Absolutely reach out to your broker. Make sure that they're okay with you having an individual Google page. Some brokers like to have a parent page with other subsects. Others just like to have a parent page, but many of them are glad for you to generate business any way you can. But just double check with your broker before you dive down this road. So one,
Hey Sam, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Somebody put in the Q&A, how do you, sorry. So they're asking about the online profile if you're part of a team, and that kind of relates to what you were talking about with the broker.
yeah, so typically, I mean, think about it like anything else, right? What does your business card say? Your business card says that my name is Sam Trimble. I am with the Sam Trimble home selling team, and I am a part of XYZ real estate brokerage, right? So think about it like that. Typically, you'll separate any of those names with a dash in the business. And then in a technical sense, there's also a way when you're completing your profile to, when you get to the address part or the location, you can actually click located within another business and then select that brokerage or that real estate team. So from a technical sense, make sure you do that with your address. In a practical sense, think of the naming like you would your business card. It's probably going to end up including all three. You could probably get away, John, with it saying, John Realtor. But really, it should say John Realtor with the Sam Trimble team, powered by whatever the brokerage is, in my opinion. And I see a bunch of questions coming in. I'm going to get through this real quick, and then we'll go back and I'll kind of check through those. So the first thing you want to do is claim your business profile if you haven't already. If one exists, if it's already automatically generated, fear not. There's a little button there that says own this business. Click that and you'll be able to verify that way. If it doesn't exist, go into Google Maps and you can start the process. Easiest way to do it is to literally Google how to create Google business profile, and there will be like 5 steps to do it. So that's really simple. So be sure to complete every single section of your Google profile, your Google business profile. We're used to leaving certain things blank or saying that we'll set it and forget it and come back later and mess with things. In the Google world, we want to make sure that we do all of that right away. So when I talked about taking a little bit of a nap later, that's not exactly what I meant by it. Although I am tired, it stands for something else. But think through this, because this is what we're going to be talking about, and being consistent with contact information. We do not want to confuse the Google juices by having different phone numbers, different emails, different addresses, different names, some with initials, some without, things like that. So be very consistent with your contact information. Select your primary and secondary categories, right? So the first one you're going to see that makes sense is real estate agency. Don't forget real estate agent, real estate consultant, real estate transactions, anything having to do with a real estate transaction. And then the way people are able to find you based on where they are when they're looking for a real estate professional is by how complete your areas are. So there is a section called service areas. You can search by county, by neighborhood, by city, by state. So be sure to choose all the areas that you serve and also the areas you want to serve, which is a little bit different. That's the way people are able to find you in those specific areas. What if licensed in 2 states? I just saw from anonymous attendee. Come on, don't be anonymous. What if licensed in 2 states? All you would do is add both to that Google page under service areas, and they would show up in 2 different areas. And then make sure, of course, for regulatory and compliance purposes, if you need to put your license numbers and stuff like that, go ahead and do that. So be sure to add photos and videos of yourself, your team, your listings, your clients, your office, different closings that you've had, events. When you get to that century mark of photos, you will get more clicks on your Google business profile. And I also want to kind of get us in the mindset. If you're anything like me, I probably get hit up like once a week by some company saying, hey, Sam, for only $500 or $1,000 a month, we can get you on the top page of Google. I can promise you, if you go through and rewatch this recording in the next couple of weeks and create a checklist of all of these things and do all of these things, you will very quickly see yourself on the 2nd or 3rd. And then if you stay consistent with it over 4 to 6 weeks, you will see yourself on the top of, towards the top of the organic search results on Google. I've done it before hundreds of times, and I know that it works. So the last thing is add products. There's a section under your Google business profile about products. As a realtor, we normally think, well, we're not like selling widgets and shoes and stuff, so that doesn't apply to us. Your listings are your products, your seller guides, your explainer videos, your FAQ videos, your how-to guides. Those are your products. So make sure that you list those as well. So there's a good checklist on kind of getting started. And to put in perspective what Google cares about most, one is that you have an actual active Google business profile. Number 2 is reviews, and then it goes towards SEO, backlinks, citations, things like that. And we're going to talk through all of those things. But just, almost 40% of the battle is just claiming your profile and being active on it to begin with. And then reviews being the second most important. So here are the 5 R's of Google reviews. The first one is pretty obvious, rating. I recommend really trying to get to a point to where you're at 4.7 stars or higher. It always weirds me out when I see a business that has like 100 reviews and they're all 5 stars, right, guys? Like, it's just something seems weird about it. It doesn't feel right. Like, nobody is perfect. That's just kind of weird. So the goal is not to get to 5 stars, in my opinion. The goal is to be somewhere over 4.5, around 4.7. that's when the Google juices get flowing best. Radius, what are the service areas that you're in? Are those complete and maybe even mentioned in reviews? So when someone leaves a review, if they were to say, you know, it was an honor to work with Sam, he was the best real estate agent I've ever had in El Paso, Texas. He just used a few keywords in that review, real estate agent, El Paso, Texas, that will be helpful for me. So if it's a client that's really close and they're like, what do you want me to say? You may say, you know, it would be awesome if you mentioned that I'm a realtor and you mentioned that I'm right here in El Paso or wherever your city is. Recency is important. I've met with people before that are like, dude, I worked on that for a long time years ago. I've got like 85 reviews on Google. I don't want to mess with it again. I went and I looked, and like the newest one was like 4 years old. You might as well have no reviews. That's cool that there's a little star rating, but Google thinks this business is no longer active. It's not striving to grow and create new business opportunities. So we're not going to serve it up towards the top of the list. So recency is actually more important than you would think. Relevancy kind of goes back to what I mentioned when I was talking about radius. If your clients or customers will use specific keywords in their reviews, realtor, location, service, things like that, for example, it will begin to raise that your profile higher and higher. So think about location, the type of client, the type of service. If it's a luxury client, mention that they should probably say, you know, I just recently sold my luxury home using a real estate agent. Sam was fantastic right here in El Paso. Those 3 keywords from that one review will begin to matriculate all kinds of different places. And then the last part is responsiveness. One of the most important things that a lot of people forget and kind of neglect is they ask for the reviews, they get the reviews, and then they never respond. Right? So you've ever gone to a restaurant or a business page and you see a bunch of reviews and they've never once responded to any of them. A big part of getting Google juice flowing is responding to those reviews, not only you know, regularly, but as soon as possible after you get that review. So one of the things, we don't talk about it in this class, but one of the things that you'll notice is once you get your Google business profile set up, there will be lots of notification settings. It is one of the most important things about our small business and your career. So I turn all of those location settings on. If they want to text me, they want to email me, they want to give me a push notification through the Maps app, I don't care. I want all of those notifications, and I'm very active on those. If you were to get a lead from Realtor.com or Zillow or Opcity, what do? They give you like 30 seconds to respond, maybe a minute or two. And if you don't, they move on to the next realtor. This should be the exact same thing. Think of it like that. I need to respond as quickly as possible to any reviews that come in. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is now I'm seeing John again. I'm going to go back to that in a minute, John. Absolutely. So one of the things that I you know, get asked about a lot is people will be like, man, I'm really worried about starting it because what if I have some competitor or an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or somebody that just doesn't like me or doesn't even know who I am? What if I have them go on and leave a bad review? I actually like some bad reviews, and I want to tell you why. So we already talked about how, you know, 4.7 stars or so should be your goal. 5.0 should not necessarily be the goal because it just feels inauthentic. How do you get to that 4.7 stars? You have a scorned buyer, scorned seller, a scorned ex brother-in-law or sister-in-law or something like that leaves a bad review. Typically speaking, it's usually a client that it falls back to some kind of communication issue, right? Like we talked about that a little bit last week, the National Seller Service Survey, Buyer and Seller Service Survey that NAR does every year. Once again, for like the 10th year in a row, lack of communication and not knowing what was going on was the #1 complaint by buyers and sellers in America. And what do they do when they feel like they don't know what's going on? Maybe they go and they kind of lash out, leaving a bad review. So I got bad reviews in the past, and I will tell you exactly how I responded to them and why I like them. When I would see that I got a bad review, one, I would verify that it was someone that I even worked with. And if it wasn't, I would comment on the review saying, I can't seem to find any interaction between us. You know, please spark my memory if I'm wrong or whatever. But if it was a legitimate review, what I would simply say is, you know, I'm so sorry to hear that you didn't experience a 5-star experience. That's what I strive for each and every time I work with anybody. Again, this is Sam. My cell phone number is 915-269-7634. Please give me a call or shoot me a text so I can see what I can do to turn that frown upside down. I really look forward to talking to you soon. It's as simple as that, right? So I've done a few things there. 76% of the time, people that leave a negative review, if responded to in a polite and positive way, will actually either at least edit, if not delete that review, right? If they don't do those things, if they don't pick up the phone and talk to me and we realize it was a miscommunication and we make it right, maybe and then maybe I ask them, would you mind, this is how I make a living, would you mind going back and editing or updating that review? If I don't have that opportunity and they never reply, they never say anything, we are a car crash, train wreck culture, right? Like I've been thinking about this lately. When traffic is flowing perfectly smooth on the 10 in LA, no one's like staring around being like, wow, this is a modern marvel. This is amazing. No, we just kind of go with it. If there's a car stalled and there's somebody fanning flames with a you know, UTEP football flag trying to put the flames out or something like that, we all stop and stare. It's the same way with reviews, right? Like we go and we click 1-star worst reviews and then we go read it and we're like, all right, let's check out the gossip, right? Like what's so bad here? What happened? Oh my gosh, right? So it's the same thing. So people will go look at those reviews, but if you've ever experienced Googling a restaurant, right? Like we're going to talk about near me in a second, why it's so important. But if, you know, I'm here in Atlanta. So last night I Googled restaurants near me, a bunch of restaurants came up. Have you ever seen one that has a really bad review? And the person's like, oh, you know, the wait staff was rude, the food was cold, the hostess you know, took forever to seat me, nobody seemed to care that I was there. It really sucked and I'm not going back. And then you've seen the restaurant reply back and be like, we don't want your business anyway. Forget you. Who cares? Our food's amazing. And the hostess is the best ever. That's my niece. How dare you talk about her like that? Like, forget you. Don't ever come back. We don't want your business. You see that and you're just like, man, I feel like I just got involved in like some kind of domestic altercation. Like, I don't want to be a part of this, right? It's a negative feeling. But when you see that person say, we're so sorry, we were understaffed last night. We normally strive for 5-star experiences for all of our customers. Yesterday was not our day. We're so sorry that you experienced that. If you come in and mention this, we'd love to give you and your lovely wife that we met a free appetizer, and hopefully we can earn your business back one day. We're sorry again. Right? They took responsibility for what happened. They recognized why the person was feeling that way, and they offered some way to try and make it right. You now go from seeing that awful review and thinking I should stay away from here to being like, I want to support that business. It's the same thing in real estate. So someone leaves a negative review about you. If you handle it politely, calmly, and with an attempt at a solution, you can actually build empathy and gain clients and customers from bad reviews. So again, if you get bad reviews all the time, we may want to like look in the mirror and see what we're doing. But if you get a few you know, from time to time, respond to them in a grateful, meaningful way, trying to find a solution, and it will actually help you grow your business. So that's part of the reason why I actually like some bad reviews. If you're anything like me, you just kind of dive in on stuff and just go like full-fledged right into it. But sometimes we really need to sit down and create a strategy. So right now, what is your strategy for growing your Google business profile presence and those reviews? Is it just kind of flippantly asking your clients and customers, maybe some past clients and customers, or is there a strategy in place? So start thinking about a consistent, which is what Google wants and is what we should do in life for that matter, a consistent follow-up program requesting reviews. In my opinion, closing time is the absolute perfect time. That buyer or that seller could be mad at everyone on planet Earth. The inspector is a crook. Their lender jacked up the rates. They're mad at you because they didn't get the couch that they were hoping is going to come. They're mad at the title company because they didn't get a check in. They're not going to get a check in. They're mad at everybody. But then they sign that last document and there's this release of stress. And all of a sudden in that moment, you realize this was just the biggest deal of their life and they were getting emotional, but they're really, really happy in that moment, right? This was a very human thing to happen. And we all know as agents and as title people, like we're part title agent or part real estate agent and part like counselor and therapist, of which like I need to hire realtors all the time so I can just have a group of therapists around me, I think. But when you get to that closing table, they sign that last document, there really is a feeling and a sense of accomplishment and relief. So that is the perfect time to ask for a review, whether it's a quick video review, whether it's saying, hey, would you scan this little QR on my phone and leave a review for me on Google, whatever it might be. I think that's a great time. Asking for it 30 days post-closing, I don't have an issue with that. I do think the return rate is significantly lower. We know that, right? We buy something someplace, we get an email or something in the mail asking for a review 30 days later. I've already moved on from this. I'm probably not going to take the time to do that. If you do decide to do something like that, make sure it's along with a check-in, right? How's everything at the house, or how was your move? How's everything going? Is there anything I can do? I have a great network of professionals around me. Should you need anyone to help with landscaping, bathroom updates, moving, whatever it might be. So make sure it's not just asking for something, it's also giving something. And then take those reviews and put them on social media platforms. There's nothing that feels better than, Bev the other day posted a promo for this class, and she did it again a few weeks ago, and she tagged me and was excited about the class and talked about me and said really nice things. At one point I leaned over and I showed my dad on a plane somewhere this video of Bev saying these nice things about me, because it felt good, right? Like, it made me feel like, wow, I'm actually doing something okay. And so our clients and customers feel the same way. Use their name on your social media from a review and thank them for show them some gratitude for the review that they left you. They will feel good. And the byproduct of that, if you were to post some reviews online, instead of just doing like Testimonial Tuesday, here's a client that loves me, if you gave some context to that, showed some gratitude, and then tagged that person, now their entire sphere is going to see that as well, whether it's on Insta, LinkedIn, or Facebook. So that's kind of a byproduct of that. And then send thank you notes with a little bit of a small gift. Maybe it's a $5, hey, I know you've been moving for the last 3 weeks and that is a total pain and you're probably on zero sleep. I figured you could use some caffeine. Here's a $5 gift certificate for a cup of coffee. Make sure to add that double shot. Thanks again. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a review, it would mean a lot to me and my business, right? Like something like that. And then maybe even, if you're doing a lot of this stuff already and you still want to ramp it up more, maybe consider a review generation platform, something like Birdeye, GatherUp, Get 5 Stars. There are platforms, I like to do things on the cheap, and especially as a real estate agent, because I'm not getting paid if I'm not closing deals. So I want to make sure I spend my marketing dollars wisely. But if you really want to dial in onto ramping those up and really getting powerful feedback in your reviews, you might consider a lead review generation platform, of which there's many. Just ping me and I'll give you a list of some if anybody has any. So as you can tell, I'm slowing down. I'm tired. It's time for a nap. Just kidding. That wasn't even that funny. I know Bev is like, what just happened?
I will laugh at all your jokes, Sam.
So this is what I meant by nap. So name, address, phone. The way Google and every website and every social platform on planet Earth connects who you are with the people that you want to connect with is through a consistent profile online. So there's a little bit of a checklist here. Again, you'll have this presentation. You're welcome to use this afterwards. Talks about real estate websites, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Realtor, Yelp, Real Estate Book, HomeSnap, BBB, like all of these things. But go through and verify that your name, your address, including email, and your phone number are consistent on all of those. You would be surprised how many profiles you have out there that are probably an office number from the first real estate brokerage you ever worked in. I found that for myself not that long ago. So I was able to go in and change some of that stuff. If you use this profile or if you use this checklist, great. If not, there's a website that I put there, yourvaunt.com, yourvaunt.com, that has a free service where you can enter in your name and your profession. It will go scrape the internet for all of the data about you, and it will show you where you need to go in and make some changes. This checklist works just as well. But YourVaunt is a pretty cool tool for doing that. But Google is looking at these and it's looking for consistency. And when it feels confused, it's like me, it shuts down, right? Like I'm in a conversation with somebody I'm in a relationship with, I start to get confused and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I just like kind of shut down. Google does the same thing. It gets a little emo sometimes. So if it starts finding different information about you with different numbers and different names and different addresses, it will start to get a little confused and it will begin to shut down. And by shut down, what I mean is it will start to suppress the information about you that you're trying to get out to your clients and customers. So be very wary and aware of that. So FAQs and Q&A are some of my favorite things because they do all kinds of things at once, right? One of the things that gets said to me a lot is, Sam, I just don't have time for some of this stuff. Or Sam, I'm just trying to find that 25th hour in the day. I'm so busy, I can barely say grace over it. Therein lies one of the many opportunities for a really solid FAQ or Q&A section, both on Google and of course on your website as well. So Google has a Q&A section where you can enter in questions and you can enter in answers, and you can also post videos. So do me a favor and sit down after this seminar. We're going to wrap up probably a little bit early, so you'll have time to do it. Sit down and write the top 5 questions that you get asked each and every week. What are those questions, right? Like, is now a good time to buy a home? Is it, what is earnest money? It is, what do I need to bring to closing? Is it, who am I compete? Like, whatever these questions are, write down those 5 questions and take those common questions and create some common answers, right? Fill in the Q&A portion, upload videos about it. And this tells Google not only more about what you do, but it's also answering the questions that your future or current clients and customers already have. And you're winning time back by doing that. If you get asked, what is earnest money, or some, whatever that question might be, whatever that number one question is that you get asked, say you get asked that like 5 or 6 times a week, 5 times turns into a 5-minute phone call. That's 25 minutes. That's half an hour every week that you've just won back, right? That you can do something a little bit more important with your time. So FAQs and Q&As, do not sleep on that stuff. And it also, Google begins to consider you as more of an expert when you have a robust Q&A and FAQ section. And you can kind of use those for your website as well. One of the things that people ask me about most, and this is why I freaking love this tool, is, well, what questions should I be answering? Well, 1, think through the ones that you're getting asked on a regular basis. 2, go over to askthepublic.com and it will serve up to you the questions you need to be answering on both your website, but especially on Google, to be served up to the top page. So when you get hit up by these people saying, oh, pay me, $500 a month and I'll get you on the top of Google, they're going over to a website like Ask the Public. They're putting in your profession. In this case, I put in buying or selling a home, and it gave me 86 different questions, the top things that people are asking. You can also do this geographically, by the way. So I could put my zip code where I live and put real estate agent, or why buy and sell real estate, or something like that, or what is title insurance for Bev for content in the future. And it's going to serve up to me 100 or less answers. These are the questions that people are asking. So when somebody hits you up and saying $500 a month and I'll get you to the top of the page, this is what they're doing. And then they're creating blog content, which isn't the world's most powerful anymore, although it's still somewhat powerful. They're creating blog content around these ideas. So if you look right here, I'm trying to look, buying or selling a home in New Jersey, buying or selling home quotes, buying or selling at the same time, buying or selling. Yeah, I mean, there's a million different things that people are searching here. This is the exact stuff that people are searching. So you take it to another level and you start looking through it. Buying or selling a home in the same year, buying and selling a home for dummies, buying and selling a home, tax deductions, home taxes, buying or selling, let's work together, new home versus used home. These are your topics. Right? These are your FAQs. These are the videos you should be making. These are the things you should be talking about online. And when you do that, I guarantee you will watch yourself continue to rise in the Google sphere, because you're talking about pertinent, timely, and relevant subject matter. So one thing that a lot of people don't know is you can actually post to a Google business profile just like you could Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. So make sure you're adding updates. We talked about having complete contact information. We talked about making sure that your services and service areas are as robust as possible, because that's how people find you. Don't forget to add updates. Not only will this keep people aware of what you've got going on and the happenings in the market, maybe it's a market update, maybe it's something about, upcoming buyer seller seminars, different things, whatever it might be. But Google appreciates that you're staying active, right? You're staying on their platform, you're giving pertinent information. We joke that, and I don't even really think it's a joke. We joke that Google knows a woman's pregnant before she knows she's pregnant based on her search history, right? So like, we're not going to get into what those searches might be, but there's a lot of people that say that. And those of you that have had a child before out there, men and, women, part of the family or whatever, like you probably remember like getting served up ads for like strollers and breast milk and all these different things ahead of time, right? So if we know that Google knows what we've got going on in our life and what we're looking for before we even do sometimes, Google knows when someone is looking for a new home. They know when they've had a change in family and it might be a time that they're going to upsize or downsize. They know when they've started getting a little bit more money and they're online looking for nice watches and nice cars. So it might be a time that they're looking for a new house. Google will automatically start to serve up your content to these people because it knows what they're looking for. So be sure to not only post and add these updates, but there's two other things that I think are really powerful too in the same section. One is an offer. So a lot of people think that if they want to figure out what the value of their home is, they're going to have to pay some appraisal company to come in. They don't know that a realtor would be probably more than willing to do a quick market analysis and deliver that to them so that they know what their home is really worth in this market. They don't know what's going on with this whole NAR thing, and are buyers even going to have representation anymore? So whatever those offers are, be sure to add those here, whether it's free CMAs, buyer representation, individual customized home buyer or home seller seminars, neighborhood tours, for example, whatever it might be sure to add those offers. And then, in my opinion, an open house or a real estate event is not complete. The promotion of that event is not complete until you add that event on Google, because we just talked about it. Google is serving up content to the people that are hungry for that specific type of content. So if someone is moving to town or is moving within town and they've been looking around, poking around and searching for open houses in the area, and you add an event for an open house, and it is an event that is posted right there on the Google platform, they are going to serve that event up to that person that's looking for open houses in the area. And I can guarantee 95% of your competitors are not doing this. And when that's another reason why it's important when someone walks into your open house, be like, oh my gosh, very nice to meet you. My name's Sam. I'm Bev. Hey, Bev, nice to meet you. How did you hear about my open house? You will start to see that if you put your open houses on Google, you will begin to see traction from people that would never have found you before and had no clue who you were. And it's all because they're trying to serve up pertinent and relevant information to the people that are on their platform. So that event one, I think, is really, really important. So please don't sleep on that. One of the last things I want to chat through real quick is the chat feature. So on Google Business Profiles now, you can enable with a little toggle to have a chat feature or not. That chat feature is funneled directly to you. It will come up on your phone as a notification. It will also email you. And in some cases, you can have it text you. And in real time, you can reply to someone directly through Google. Google likes to control conversations, right? They want people on their platform. They would actually prefer that someone is chatting with a business through their platform than them clicking that number button and taking the conversation offline, right? They would like to have some control of that conversation. So at a bare minimum, enable chat because Google appreciates it, but then enable all the potential notifications. You are going to be having real-time conversations, and Google doesn't get all that mad if it takes you a little while to respond. But that said, respond like we would to anybody else texting us in any other format as quickly as possible. This is a comfortable way for our clients and customers to be able to communicate with us. It's one of the reasons why I say, LinkedIn, for example, is the only platform where you click a button and there's a drop down of all of that person's contact information. And one of the things I always say is complete it as deeply as possible. Every cell phone, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, email, other email, fax, I want people to be able to reach me any way they want to be able to reach me as a real estate agent. So chat is another way to be able to provide convenience of conversation to your clients and customers. Near me searches have grown over 200% in the last 2 years. You'll notice, just like last night, I start to search restaurant and it finishes it by saying near me because it knows I'm not in Atlanta very often and I probably have no clue where I should go eat and drink a bunch of sake. And so it's telling me where I should go do those things, right? It's the same thing for real estate agents. So the more complete your profile is, the more notations you have of place, type of service and type of client in your reviews and in your bio, the more conversations you're going to have with people that are right in your area. And be sure, again, to make sure that that services and locations is as complete as possible, because that is how Google decides who you are, what you do, and to whom they should serve you up. 76% of consumers rely on social media to make purchasing decisions. And in today's world, a home is a purchase. The sale of a home is a quasi purchase. And 76, so 3 out of 4 people are making decisions based on social media. And it takes 5 to 7 touches for anyone to even remember our brand or who we are. So if you're not being super active on a platform like Google Business Profile, you are missing the boat. You are missing business. And to me, I don't ever want to miss a deal. And if you can spend a little bit of time staying consistent with something like Google Business Profile, you will absolutely reap the rewards. The last thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit of gratitude. We started this conversation by saying that your online reputation and your Google reviews are the future currency of your business, which I firmly believe they are. Knowing that this is the future currency of our business, this is how we make a living. When someone takes the time, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, when someone takes the time to leave you a review on Google or anywhere else online, it is incumbent upon us to show some gratitude for them taking the time to do that. So when you ask some of these clients and customers, past clients and customers, maybe some lenders, maybe some title folks, whoever it is that you ask to leave some of these reviews, comment on that review and reply to it at the very, very least. Or maybe, novel idea, put pen to paper and drop a note in the mail saying, you know what, Ryan, I saw you took a few minutes to leave me a review on Google the other day. That is the future of my business. This is how myself, my family, and my friends will eat. And I really appreciate it. So thanks for doing that. It means a lot to me. If there's someplace you want me to leave a review for you, just let me know. Thanks again, Ryan. Right? Maybe pick up the phone. Maybe send them a little swag pat with a cool trucker hat and a bag tag or whatever. At the end of the day, please do something, because that person just elevated you in your career and is helping sustain the way you make a living. And so let's show that person a little bit of gratitude. So again, Champion, MBH, District, the whole Acrisure team, it is an honor and a privilege to work alongside you guys here at the FNF family of companies. If anybody didn't connect with me last week and would like to connect, scan this QR code. I have a ChatGPT master guide for realtors in there and a few other resources. But more than that, I'd love to just stay connected. It's fun to have friends all over the country. So if you want to scan this and get connected, I would love to do that. Otherwise, that is maximizing Google Business Profile for lead gen. And thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you, Sam.
Great stuff.
And our next session, the final one in this 3-part series, is Wednesday, April 10th. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Thank you, Ryan. So we'll see you then, and visit us on social media for that registration link. We'll be sending out the recording and Sam's slides, of course, after the class. So thank you everyone for joining us.
And Bev, just to piggyback there, the content there will be scroll stopping ads unleashed for Facebook and Instagram. So hope you guys can make it to that one. And once again, we'll send this recording out.
Awesome.
Appreciate you all being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
See you guys.
See ya. Thanks, Bev.